After checking out Samsung's launch event and giving the Z Fold 7 a good look in person, I can honestly say that I am now back to finally being excited about smartphones again. And here's why. So, last year, when the Z Fold 6 came out, I thought it was a beautiful piece of tech, but I just didn't feel like it was worth keeping. I personally didn't see or feel enough differences between the Fold 6 and the Fold 5 that I already owned. I was happy to see a tiny bit more on the cover display, but in day-to-day use, it just wasn't enough to make my texting experience better, which I do a lot, or to improve the camera quality overall compared to the Fold 5. Also, for the money, I felt like the Fold 6 should have had the best camera that Samsung offered on the Ultra series, but again, it didn't. So I returned it. And it's a similar story with the S25 Ultra. When I first got it, I was excited, but the 23 and 24 Ultra are still so great that I felt like the 25 Ultra was just a little bit better. And in my experience, it just wasn't much difference. And what really disappointed me was that Samsung took away the extra functionality of the S Pen. The high quality S Pen has always been part of the identity of the Note series, which is now the Ultra series, so in my opinion, it should never have been downgraded. So once again, I returned the 25 Ultra because I was frustrated with Samsung's design choices. I never lived with either of those devices, even though I'm a huge Samsung fan, because I was frustrated with Samsung not making enough positive changes from the Z Fold 5 to the Z Fold 6. And I was frustrated with them removing the functionality of the S Pen without enough of an increase from the S24 Ultra when compared to the 25 Ultra in terms of functionality, at least for me anyway. Now fast forward to now, when I first saw the Z Fold 7 Unpacked event, or the Galaxy Unpacked event just recently, I was shocked and I was surprised because the design has really actually improved a ton just from last year. So now the cover display has a proper aspect ratio and feels and functions like a super comfortable, easy to use smartphone. It still has that it's really an incredible mini tablet main display inside, which is now larger, but yet still folds up and fits perfectly in my pocket. And that's not even mentioning like the extra power with flex mode capabilities, and Samsung DeX is still built in and still turns the phone into a mobile desktop experience. And this also has seen some improvements from Samsung with the latest software updates. So this is really good news. And also, when it comes to the texting, like I said, I'm a huge texter, so having a screen and a keyboard that's easy to type on is a must for me. And now I'm finally going to have that with the Galaxy Z Fold 7, way better than on the previous models. I remember last year, I was so hopeful at first and left frustrated that the most expensive and, in my opinion, the best Samsung device ever still didn't have the best mobile camera like the Ultra series did. So this year, now, finally, I'm getting a 200 megapixel camera right in my pocket. Now, do I think it's a good trade to have a really good 10 megapixel main camera for video calls and pictures versus the under display 4 megapixel camera like we had in the previous generations? Absolutely. They've also made the main display bigger at 8 inches now. So unless you're watching like an old school video on that full display, which is greatness by the way, especially with old school videos or movies and with the retro emulation like gaming of that nature, typically for me, most videos that I watch are going to be in just the normal 16:9 or just the regular wide view, and I normally do not crop in or punch in so I don't lose any of the content that's playing. So to me, with foldables, it's still a better viewing experience when compared to other slap smartphones, and that's even with this higher quality camera now that they've traded out for the under display camera that we had previously. So to me, this is a win still. Also, this turns a weakness of the previous Fold series design into a strength now. So was I bummed to hear that Samsung removed the S Pen functionality from the Fold 7? Yes, but not the same as compared to the Ultra. I think when considering the improvements of that trade-off, I'm still left very excited about the Galaxy Fold 7's design, especially after holding it and seeing it in person. And just kind of taking all things into account, especially since now it's going to be much slimmer It's lighter and it has even better cameras now. I mean, we're talking a 200 megapixel main camera and a fantastic 10 megapixel main camera on the main display. Plus, both the displays are getting bigger, which is nice. And that's going to be both when folded and unfolded, and the creases are getting smaller. So it's overall way better viewing experience. I think it's going to be just overall just a better experience for the Z Fold lineup just in general, because for me, it's all the things that I love to do with this kind of device. They're all being upgraded for those experiences, and there's things that were on my wish list before that are finally getting checked off. So I will say, when it comes to the S Pen, I am still honestly really hoping that they bring back the S Pen support, because it really is a nice feature to have, especially on that main display. So it is what it is, but I am still hoping that as they continue to make improvements on this device and on this series, that they end up circling back and bringing that back. Another thing to note is, it's not the first time that smartphone makers have taken features out to make the whole experience better. Samsung, Apple, and tons of others have done this, and I'm actually planning to make a video about it soon, so you can check it out. But basically, my thought on it is, if you consider like the upcoming iPhone, it's about to hit generation 17, and the Galaxy S lineup is heading into generation 26. The Galaxy Fold lineup is still very young. It's only just now getting to generation 7. So there's still tons of room to improve, and for Samsung to still make the ultimate Galaxy foldable device. So in my opinion, I think this is actually a huge leap in the right direction. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments, and also how many of you actually ordered the upcoming Z Fold 7 or the Flip or the Watch 8. I know that for me, I pre-ordered as soon as the event started, and mine is actually going to be a black Z Fold 7. I'll show you all when it comes in. And I also have a 44mm Watch 8, and I also have the Galaxy Buds Pros coming with that as well. So let me know if you pre-ordered below, or if you're holding out to see what the Fold 8 has to offer.